Good evening, everybody. My name is Juile, and my presentation will be on designer babies. What are designer babies? It's when they modify embryos to choose desirable characteristics, and they also eliminate diseases and disorders that could be inherited from the parents. I feel that they should strictly regulate designer babies because that way you could prevent the greater economic and health difference between the wealthy and the poverty-stricken. Babies are designed to suit social preferences such as above-average height, hair color, or increased intelligence. Children are not a commodity, nor are they to satisfy the parents' wants or needs. They are individual human beings, and choosing characteristics will create an arms race where parents are continually trying to better and better their babies. Subconsciously, we would be promoting that only a perfect baby would be worthy of life. You'll see only what society deems to be perfection, and which would create a diminishing variability within the gene pool. Will selection of traits perceived to be desirable end up diminishing variability in the gene pool that is raw material of natural selection? Designer babies would just create an imbalance of gender and interfere with nature. It's sad when people die, but there has to be a control of population. Survival of the fittest has worked for millions of years, and it will continue to keep our population at a natural, sustainable level. If we save everyone, how long will it be until the planet Earth cannot sustain human life anymore? Parents always want what's best for their children, but creating a designer baby will raise expectations way too high and will disappoint them if the child does not live up to them. A recent survey found that about 10% of a group who went to a genetically counseling in New York expressed interest in screening for stature, and that some 13% would be willing to test for superior intelligence. Should a deaf parent who embraces his or her condition be permitted to produce an embryo that would produce a child unable to hear? Rich people have more money, so they could afford receiving genetic enhancements, thus having superior genetics. The wealthy would be protected from inherited diseases and disabilities, and the discrimination against those with disabilities would greatly rise. Statistics already show that poorer people have a shorter life expectancy, increased infant death, and limited access to health care than rich people. Genetic enhancement will expand injustice and inequalities in humans. Surveys report that Americans believe an ideal family has a baby as the oldest child. Skewing the population to have this could make it even harder to rid society of gender role stereotypes. Designer babies would only cause Hitler-like consequences. When we think back on him, we do so with horror. One man's desire to create the perfect race led to the death of millions of people. Yet, when it comes to the concept of designer babies, have we really come that far? This is too much a complicated phenomenon to tamper with, at any level beyond simple health preservation. The use and abuse of advanced fertility technology evokes fear of Gattaca. That movie was about where children born using biometrics get the best jobs, and the children conceived naturally are given the low-class jobs. Children are not a spare part factory. Imagine having been born only to serve for spare parts for the good of someone else. An example of this is represented in the novel My Sister's Keeper. This quote was said by Anna, the designer baby who was born to save her sister Kate, who was dying of leukemia. She said, The fact that the only reason I was born was a harvest crop for Kate. A major decision about me is being made, and no one bothered to ask the one person who must deserve to speak her opinion. Will designer babies be a positive development for the future of mankind, or an ethical hornet nest that should be left alone? You decide.